The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Wow. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his zone 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grit. Jimmy Hitchman with the chip, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them at allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. It's a bad bitch on the elevator, I'ma let her in. Let your hater be a motivator, I can't let you win. Evil genius, human calculator, stack it by the 10. Put the Lambo on the elevator, bring it to the den. Put the Mustang by the balcony, I'm fly like Peter Pan. I'm so glad they turned their back on me, cause we weren't really friends. And it ain't even 10, and I woke up on a 10. And I don't need no pen, all I don't need no pad. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his zone 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grits. Jimmy Hitchman with the chip, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them at allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip. Gotta keep them snipers with me, dawg. I got more enemies than 50, dawg. He popped a burger, said he nodding off. On higher look, they just might pop it off. 11 o'clock, she popped the nutter off. That bitch so bougie, yeah, she bad enough. That bitch so thick, you know she lit enough. It's Gucci, man, you know it's bricks involved. The sun ain't even up yet, I'm thinking about the chick. Woke up in the morning, bust down me a brick. Gave Metro $1 million, told him not to quit. He still on his zone 6, Gucci really rich. Put the keyboard in the kitchen, fuck some amazing grits. Jimmy Hitchman with the chip, man, I sold a lot of shit. Heard I kept them at allegedly, but I didn't bust it. The way they mixing up the medicine, I might just grow some drip.
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded college basketball Super Tuesday slate, NBA and NHL winners, and we got to cash another squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. What's going on, ladies and gents? Happy BTL Tuesday, episode 650 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit yet, start tracking today. All right, change your life. Start tracking your bets. Hold yourself accountable over there on Bookit Sports, the best bet tracking app out there by far. Okay, no intro, no problem. We're going to keep moving and grooving. Jovan, good to have you back, my man, for a loaded slate. We got plenty of action and no excuses. You ready?
Sure.
Why don't we go ahead and recap these squad rides from yesterday? Sure. Kansas plus 9.5. They came through. Let's fucking go.
Way to hold it down,
Jayhawks.
That was air.
Good teams win, great teams cover. Okay, that's all I'll say. And Kansas is not a good team. They're honestly not even a great team, but last night they were. And they came through. They respected coins. To be honest with you, they could have won that game. But something's off with that Kansas team. It's pretty clear. Bill Self about to have another heart attack on the sidelines, man. Pray for him.
Yeah, they're moose, but can't really blame them for not losing or not winning at the Fertitta Center. They fought. Respect that.
Yep, they did. It's almost an impossible place to win. But their two games they had against them this season, thought they would have pulled out one of them. Man, they were hanging around, but they showed some fights. Oh, look, we got Geek Goot back in the chat. Jovan, you missed this yesterday. We found Goots' cousin in the chat. Geek Goot. Singular Goot, not plural. Krabby Patty, I have some MLB goosage. Give me the Nerfy and the St. Louis Cards Nats game. Geek Goot. Sure. Sign me up. We got Jake Irvin on the bump today. I'm in. I would love to take a peep. That might be just me typing away. Yep, on my Twitch account. Would love to take a peep at the MLB slate for today. We do have the Nats playing, and they are televised. Around me, at least. W's. We got Bands V2 coming in, resubbing during the end of TMA. Love to see that. W Bands, W TMA as well. W Mikey getting the day started right on TMA If you guys are not tuning in to TMA before BTL every day on YouTube and Twitch, why don't you start tomorrow? Tune in. Mikey's been killing it, getting the day started off right. And yes, W singular goot. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but we'll keep on moving on. Okay? We'll keep on moving on. Let's go ahead and do the Sharp Report recap. I'll get ahead of this one. We hit the play that mattered. Okay? Sabres, OTL. They didn't even deserve to be there. It was an empty net goal. They tied it. So I'm not even going to bitch about that. Eastern Kentucky. They forget how to play basketball in the second half. They take the second half off. They're up by 10. They blew it. They got crushed and dominated. They blew it. Kansas came through. Ja didn't play, and KJ Wyndham hit 2 threes in about 2 minutes. Can't make it up. Like T-Bone Steak saying, nothing else matters. And yay, lads, no Jovan yesterday, but we're back today. Excited to see your plays, my man. Excited to see your plays. Okay. W's. Well, real quick, before we go into some winners for today, there's 2 things I want to address, talk about. We got college basketball conference tourneys starting up here today, Jovan. I know we had the ASUN going since Sunday. We've got 3 conference tourneys starting up today. We got the Horizon League getting up and moving. We got the Patriot League. Shout out Navy. We got them up and moving. Not Navy playing today, but their conference. And then the Sun Belt, a.k.a. the Fun Belts, a little bit of a better conference than the first 2 that I mentioned. Excited to talk about some of these games, right? Green Bay and Oakland, I feel like is an underrated game today in the Horizon League. Both teams are crummy, but both teams have been playing a lot better of late. Excited to see that one. Talk about that one a little bit. I'm excited to talk about these Sun Belt games as well. Coastal, Southern Miss, ULM, and Louisiana, right?
Sun Belt's awesome. Sun Belt's one of the most interesting, I think, conference tournaments out of the mid-majors. I'm excited to see how that one plays out because you got, especially because South Alabama's involved. Not today, I don't think, but just they make every matchup really weird. So I want to see how that kind of shakes out.
Sure. Yeah, if you guys have not updated the Prize Picks app, get to it. Okay, shit's fire. Definitely worth your time. The app looks great. We got, who was in chat talking? Oh, Wemby's out for the season. Thank you, Fat Girls.
There we go.
Real Nikki Gambles asking if we got some conference tourney winners, some futures that we like. We're going to drop a graphic either later today or tomorrow with our futures in all these mid-major tournaments. Okay, so be patient. We're going to drop that later, either later today or early on tomorrow. We're going to give you guys, our favorites, our sleepers, and maybe a team we're rooting for as well. So stay posted on that. And then we're going to record a podcast going over the Power 5 or the main conferences, probably early first thing next week. Okay, get ready. And then we got a baseball pod on the way right after that. Okay, a lot of content on the way, guys. If I had to guess, we'll probably record the, pods for college basketball, the bigger conferences, probably on Monday, once we know, the brackets. Okay, so stick with us. Look out for that puppy probably on Monday night or Tuesday morning. All right. Will my lineup not get crashed every 10 seconds now on PP? Yeah, Ben, this update's fire, dude. Go check it out. Or Brady, excuse me. W update from Prize Picks. Love to see it. Yeah, let's cut right to it. VT getting upset after Mike Young extension. Dogot. I don't know, man.
Yes.
I don't know, man. We'll talk about it. Jovan's got some thoughts too. Maybe it's like, when the Nats fought hard for Dave Martinez, got him extended and then finished the season off pretty well. Could be very similar.
How? I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how we circle back every time. It's honestly incredible from you, Krabs.
Yeah, you can't do it with your teams. You probably wish you could.
Yeah.
Jake Baird already cashed minus 2,000.
I mean, yeah, it's a free leg every day.
Nola asking the right questions as well. College baseball talk. You got any plays or angles you like for today?
Yeah. I guess I don't have any on Sharp Report, but I was keeping an eye on Texas Tech total. Just dropped 15.5. I'm taking that over.
Okay.
It's not an early game, but I was waiting on it. So I'm in on that.
Sure. All right, a little over. You know what time that game starts? Is that this afternoon or tonight?
No, I think it's a regular 7 p.m., 6:30 game, 6:30.
Okay. Awesome. Guys, it's a big day today. I'm excited to dive into the MLB season lab tonight, try to finalize this Prize Pick season-long lineup for the MLB season. Now that we got the saves category back up, massive. All right, we got to figure out who is this year's Daniel Barrett, respectfully, right? We're not going to be going around, tooting our horn or celebrating too hard, right? But we do have to find this year's Daniel Barrett, a guy who just completely loses his mind on the mound and forgets how to pitch and close games. Jovan, we got some good options up there. I don't want to spend time today talking about that, though. Let me go ahead and gatekeep. Okay, I want to talk about the MLB category up there for today and the spring training games. Can we take a peep? I just want to make sure we're not missing anything. Want to make sure we got all of our bases covered, make sure we're not missing any squares, letting anything get swept through the cracks. Because yesterday, Jovan, we took Barrios less than strikeouts. That smacked. Had to pair with Aaron Judge season long less than because we didn't have a pair, but still got to the counter. Love to see it. Okay.
My God.
Yep, that happened when you were gone. Yep. We got Jake Irvin, 2.5 strikeouts, starting up in about 15 minutes.
Do you?
Yeah, against the Cards.
If you don't take that, then it almost feels fake.
Well, here's where my head's at because I got a couple guys I like up on the board today. Obviously, my dude, Jake Irvin, pitching for the Nats. They got Dane Dunning up there. Jovan, they got a Dane Dunning and JT Ginn Nerfy square. Okay. And then they got Graham Ashcraft up there as well, who is not the greatest pitcher, on the block, but I respect his game. I don't know why I always found myself betting on that guy in the Reds when he pitches, but 3 interesting squares up there today, Jovan, for the MLB slate. When the Nerfy squares, we got 3 to choose from.
Well, I'll tell you, one. I'm looking at that A's Rangers, the Dunning Ginn. That's the highest total on the board by a lot today. It's at 11.
Oh, yeah? So why is the Nerfy square up there?
I don't know, Krabs.
Pretty weird.
I don't know.
I mean, you know what I want to take? I want to take that JT Ginn, Dane Dunning, Nerfy, out of respect for Dane, out of respect for the specs out there on the mound.
Could always been the Nerfy, though.
Ah, there it is.
If it always was.
I don't know, man. Look, Dane Dunning, he's good for 1 inning, right? It's just, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where it really gets kind of hairy, right? He's a great reliever. He's great out of the bullpen, right? He was really good for the Rangers out of the pen the last year or so. It's when he's out there for a couple innings. That's when he gets in some trouble, right? And looking at the board, Jovan, I mean, who the heck wants to take the Nerfy and JT Ginn, Dane Dunning with the highest total on the board?
Probably not many.
Probably not many. Could be a JT Ginn, Dane Dunning Nerfy this afternoon, paired with the Palante Jake Irvin Nerfy. Or, hear me out, we got some TGL action today, Jovan.
No, boy.
I know you've been dabbling, dipping the toes in the pool, right? Getting your feet wet in the golf game, right? You've been playing some more golf bets of late. Maybe we take our talents to the TGL tonight. You got Tiger Woods, who has the worst squad out there in all the land. Okay, they're not even going to make the playoffs. They're already eliminated mathematically, so tonight's matchup means nothing. You got Tiger Woods leading the way. I mean, he's been struggling a little bit. His whole team, I mean, he's got no help, so I'm not even going to blame Tiger. But, Jovan, just thinking as a simpleton, thinking as a square, a normal person logging on, I see a Tiger Woods half a holes won square up there on the boards, and automatically I want to take the more than because it's Tiger Woods, right? Little do they know that Tiger Woods and simulators, they're not going too well. All right, he has not cracked the code yet on these simulators, and that looks like one of the easiest squares to take on the boards. I'm not saying we have to do it. I'm certainly interested in fading the GOAT.
Does it even the scales at all, the fact that his team is incredibly most?
Well, it's not like he doesn't have help. Tom Kim has been really good, but you can't win with one guy. So he's playing today.
So give me the breakdown, Goots, because I know it. How does the scoring work for this in terms of the correlation between the square and the match?
Yes. So the holes won in singles would mean that when they play holes 10 through 15, each player plays 2 holes, 1v1 against another player on the other team. So Tiger would have 2 holes to win. To get this,
he's got 2 chances,
more than or less. He's got 2 chances to win a hole, tie a hole, or lose a hole.
And he can tie it too.
Has TGL announced the matchups yet?
Let me look.
I'm looking.
No, they haven't announced who's playing who yet.
Jovan, you hit the nail on the head though. Yes, ties are very common. Yes. Right? Ties are way more common than people winning holes, right? These guys are all very, very fucking good. And there's a way better chance that these guys tie a hole then one of the guys win, right? So I really want to fade Tiger today. I hate saying that. It doesn't feel right. And I feel like the gambling gods are up there right now shaking their heads. But, I mean, who else has the sack to do it? And that's the kind of
Could
square
be
you want to
in.
be taking, right?
Yes. Now, I will
I
say,
think
how are we not pairing this with Judge?
Well, I could be interested. I could be intrigued.
I feel
I
like
guess my question would be,
this is just like Mahomes, dude. You're fading the GOAT. Fading the GOAT, I feel like a Judge pairing is required.
yeah, you're not wrong. I think that's probably Trent geeking in the chat. It might be Goots, though. This feels a lot like Curry under in the Olympics.
That might be Mike.
Oh, God. Yeah, people forget that square. I try to forget it still, but it's engraved in my brain. With how
There's
bad
been
of a
some
square
bad
that was.
squares. Bad squares. That one was historic, though.
That was number one. That was number one. Okay. You know, Jovan, I could be convinced, and I think I am. Yep. Aaron Judge less than home runs. Tiger Woods less than hole in one or holes one. Sure.
I can actually tail that with you now.
Yeah, Trent wants to sweats with you this week. Yeah, dude, I'll tell you what. The only question I have now, Jovan, would be, are we involving a nerfy Urfy and making it a three-piece?
That's your call. Your call, you're nerfy.
You know, I've placed 4 lineups so far that involve Aaron Judge less thans. The 3 that have hit have all been 2 pieces. The one that lost was a 3-piece. I got greedy, right? Maybe we keep it to a 2-piece.
I'm in.
Right. And you know what? I can't do it, so I'm going to send a side smaller piece with a 3-piece with the Dane Dunning Nerfy. I can't do it.
You just can't help yourself.
I can't do it. I'm going to send the main 2-piece with Tiger Woods and Aaron Judge less than. All right. But then I'm also going to send a 3-piece with that Dane Dunning and Ginn Nerfy.
That was actually the quickest fold I've ever seen.
Can't do it. Sorry. Tried. Can't do it. Goots, I apologize ahead of time for fading Tiger Woods.
Okay. Don't even apologize to me. Apologize to him when he went to fucking hole because he's a get. So.
Okay. I'll make sure I send him a thank you card or an apology card.
That'd be nice.
Afterwards. Sure. All right. Now, here's the real question. Like, how are we going to sit here when there's a Nats game start up in 10 minutes and not have coins in that?
Dude, we can sit so pretty knowing that we have no coin on the Nats.
I don't know if I can. We got Dan's bets coming in, dropping a resub. Let's go, Dan. Let's go, Dan. RIP Kyrie Irving. Yes, I want to shout out Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, his arc has been incredible, I feel like. He went from being the biggest bozo. I feel like he was just trolling people for shits and gigs. And at this point, I feel like he's mellowed out. There's all these great clips with him and his daughter hanging out, doing, cool stuff. I feel like he's been relatively quiet, saying the earth is flat, shit like that doesn't make any sense. Kyrie's had a good couple years. And I know the Mavs trade, sending Luka away, that sucks. But shout out Kyrie Irving last night. Dude tears his ACL. Tells his teammates who were carrying him to the fucking locker room, they say, he says, hold on, wait a minute. Put me on the fucking free throw line. I'm not done. And they're like, what? And he starts yelling at his buddy who he's got his arm around him, carrying him to the fucking locker room. He goes, put me on the free throw line. And he goes up and he hits both free throws before going to the locker room, Jovan. The guy's got a torn ACL. You don't see that shit very often, man. That's heart. That's heart. And Kyrie has been impressing me in the last couple years. I'm not even talking about the stats or the play. I've just been impressed by his growth as a person. I don't know. That was so impressive to watch. You don't see that shit very often. What a beast. And prayers up for a quick recovery, man. That was very cool to watch. And he's not getting enough respect for that. Okay? Kyrie Irving. Hope you heal up quick, my man. Gosh. All right. Flatwoods Fella just came in with 5 subbies, John. How about that?
Be Flatwoods.
Let's go, Flatwoods. Had a baby. Way to get involved. We appreciate you, Beast. And yeah, people forget Joe Flacco finished a game with a torn ACL and MCL. Yep. And he also refused to sign my Todd Heap jersey when I was 10 years old. People also forget that.
Hall of Famer right there.
Douchebag. He's a D-bag.
No, he's not.
He is.
What were you wearing when you had the Joe Flacco jersey with you?
No, Todd Heap jersey.
Oh, Todd Heap jersey.
And he wouldn't sign it because he only signed his jerseys. And this is when he was a rookie. He hadn't played a single game yet.
Oh, I
Did
mean,
I
from
see
Delaware.
DeGrom not
he was nice
starting
to me
opening
when
day?
I met him, so maybe he just
Yeah.
felt your Washington fandom.
He
and
might
was
have.
like, nah.
He might have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, at
I
least
don't
he was
blame
nice
him.
to you, Goots. That makes me happy. As he
Yeah.
should.
Yep.
As he should. Crazy to hold a grudge that long. Yeah, that might be the longest grudge I've got, to be honest. I was literally 10 years old. Jovan, did you see DeGrom not starting opening day? Need your thoughts? Budman. Okay.
Yeah, so the first start is going to have to be against Ellie probably if they're doing the back end of the rotation
Wow.
thing. So they're playing the Reds. They have like the
Wow.
first 3 or 4 game series against the Red Sox. So he's at the end. He's going to be starting against the Reds first start of the
Okay.
year.
That could be start of the year. I mean, you're going to have to go to that game.
I don't know where it
if
is.
It's home. If it's home.
Yeah, I don't know if it's here or there.
Krabs, Mikey here. Can I request we get Janelle Davis, PRA, up and moving? Mike, we're going to talk about Janelle Davis. I love where your head's at. Love where your head's at. Heard you talking about him a little bit at the end of TMA. Sign me up, dude. We're going to talk about him in a moment. All right?
The game's in Cincy.
All right, I got to lock in these lineups, dude. Hold on. I got the Tiger and Aaron Judge lineup locked in.
Are you telling your, since you want coin on the Nats game so bad, I got Geek Goot, singular Goot, saying Nerfy?
Yeah, Geek Goot. You like that Nerfy in the Nats game, Geek Goot? Why do I like that? Why do I think that's fun? It's not funny. You don't like it, Goots. Okay. Is it making you jealous, Goots? You don't like when I talk about Goot?
Just a very weird name.
Does it make you sad?
No, that makes me sad.
Geek Goot. No James Wood in the lineup today.
Great for Nerfy bettors, potentially.
We just got to worry about Dylan Cruz. All right, why don't we send a 4-piece then? Fuck it. We'll go Palante, Jake Urban, Nerfy. We'll go JT Ginn, Dane Dunning, Nerfy. We'll go Tiger Woods, less than half a whole one. And we'll go Aaron Judge, less than home runs on the season.
Is that square that's up there, new Krabs? That Dylan Cruz home runs? Or has that always been up?
No way they put Dylan Cruz up.
I was gonna say I haven't had consistent eyes on the board, but I feel like I know
Yes,
that I know what was on the very
That
top.
That is new. Yes. That was not up a couple days ago. I'm telling you, we've been waiting for one more drop, and I think it might have been put up today.
At the
right?
very
The
top.
Saves
Goose.
Cat.
There you go. Oh, you have it in there. Put the under in there and bet. Should be air.
Okay.
They got Brandon
Wait,
Lau
what's
on
he
the
at?
board.
I have terrible vision, and I can't see it. I wanna
13
zoom
and a
in.
half. Connor Norby on the board, Goods.
Yeah, that's air.
Not that it matters, but Dylan Cruz is hitting
Actually,
like 450 right now in the spring. He's fucking dialed in.
Krabs, what if I told you they had Salvi at 22 and a half?
Okay, too soon is what I would tell you. I tell you it's too soon.
Up and moving.
Oh, yeah, they added a bunch, I'm pretty sure.
James Wood, there he is, 19 and a half, Krabs.
Yeah, he's been chilling there at 19 and a half. I'm a little bit worried about James. He's not getting too many reps in the spring here. He's been a little banged up. They're kind of keeping it hush hush. He played the other day, I think yesterday actually. He DH'd, or maybe 2 days ago. And then we haven't heard from him again. He's not playing today. A little bit concerned. He was doing outfield drills, though. It's not like he re-injured it, but maybe he wasn't feeling 100%, and they're letting him rest and recover a little bit here first before they put him back out there. Not ideal for James Wood. I was hoping he'd be getting a full spring training of reps, but shit. We'll see what happens. But yeah, interesting. Dylan Cruz up there.
Looking at this board, I think I could do a 6-piece home runs and smack.
Yeah, go.
There's
go.
6 guys
Good-
on here.
Good looking board.
I
Go.
know. 1.
It's just going to be all Orioles or
Two.
former Orioles.
No. 3.
While Goods does this, I'll drop the links, chat, if you want to get involved on Twitch.
5.
Okay. Here's the 2-piece.
And one more.
Where's he going with this last one, man?
And there's the 4-piece.
This is a tough one. I can go some different routes here.
It's a lot of routes. You got Toglia,
You
you
got
got
options, Goods.
Bangaliers. You got Goats.
Yeah, there's some goats up here.
You got the Candyman up and moving.
I would love to take Royce. I just can't. Bro's going to be
Yeah.
hurt by week 2.
Yeah, glass bones.
Yeah.
You just ride Salvi under and call it a day. Or take Naylor in Arizona. It's a Gooch guy.
It is a Gooch guy. There we go. Jake Berger. That's 6-0 chat. Go ahead and lock that in.
That could be Ma. Probably down on those first 2 legs, but could be Ma.
Can you read it off real quick, Gates, for the people who might not be able to see it too well, like me?
Norby, 18.5 more than. These are all more than. Tyler O'Neill, 22.5.
Sure.
Geloff, 15.5. Colt Keith, 13.5. Rooker, 35.5. Jake Berger, 26.5.
Jake Berger goated. Daughter just had open heart surgery this week. Yeah, he hit a home run right afterwards. I remember Gooch telling me that story. Crazy. Dude flies back after the surgery and hits a nuke.
I proceeded to trade for him in my fantasy league.
That could be the narrative you need, Gooch.
Yeah, sometimes it just means more.
For this season. Straight up. All right. W's. Well, we got the lineups locked. Tiger Woods less than holes 1 with Aaron Judge less than season nukes. And we got a 4-piece as well with the 2 Nerfies starting up here soon. We got the Nats Nerfie, and then we've got the Dane Dunny Nerfie that starts up at 3 p.m. Eastern. So I dropped both those links. If you guys want them in the chat, get involved. All right. For now, I feel like we can keep moving and grooving, gents. The lineups have been crafted. You want to get to the Sharp Report? Talk about some of our favorite plays for today.
Sure.
All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about some of our winners that we're eyeing for tonight. And I'm getting started out with a nasty one in CBB. Let's talk about the Creighton Blue Jays. Creighton up from 9.5 to 10.5. I said yesterday on the stream, whatever they end up playing, I'm probably going to be on them. This number is big enough for me to put respect on Creighton, or at least notice that the odds makers are. With Creighton coming off of 1 cover in their last 5 games. Creighton's lost 3 of their last 5 games, and Jovan, it gets worse. They're coming off of an absolute beatdown on the road against Xavier in their last game, where they look like a shell of themselves. They got embarrassed. They got worked in the second half by Xavier, and they lost by 22. In that game, they only put up 61 points. Well, they're facing off against a Seton Hall team, Jovan, that they might not be winning games of late. They've lost 4 in a row, but they've covered 3 of those 4 games. In a lot of those games, they were getting a boatload of points and playing good teams, and they covered their last 3 in a row. I think this is a great spot to fade Seton Hall, a team that people are thinking is starting to play some good ball after they kept it really close against St. John's. That game was honestly closer than the 10 points it ended at. That was down to the wire. They almost won that game, to be honest with you. This could be a great spot to fade, and I think this is the line that stuck out to me the most today on the boards. I know Creighton's a tournament team. I know Creighton's 20-9, and Seton Hall sucks, and they're 7-22. But if you look at how these teams are playing of late, and you look at who's covering and who's not, I think we're due for a bounce-back spot here for Creighton, and I want to fade Seton Hall coming in off of 3 straight covers, Jovan. This could be the perfect time to back the Blue Jays on the road after that embarrassing performance at Xavier. I think they bounce back, and looking at the spreads, seems like the odds makers think they bounce back too.
Yeah, I can get down with that. Feels like the bigger spreads in the Big East have been hitting for the most part, kind of like the opposite of what we do in the Big Ten every time. So, especially now that Creighton's been without Pop Isaacs for a while and down to bet on this team again.
Yeah, they're better. Unfortunately,
so much better.
We're going to need Ashworth to go out there and give it his all, right? I mean, he's a new father, so should have plenty of experience out there on the court tonight. We're going to need Kalkbrenner to be a fucking beast out there like Jalen's talking about in chat. Sure. Yep. Loving Creighton laying a big old number on the road after playing like quail shit. They bounce back tonight. They win by 20 plus. All right.
Why not?
We'll swing it around to Jovan. It's been a couple days. I'm excited to see. Okay. Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go, Jovan.
Starting off with the Dogs, man. They've been playing good basketball. I think they've won 2 in a row as an underdog. Not a team that I would typically love to back, especially when they're short favorite on the road, but I think it's kind of interesting that they're now a short favorite on the road. And they opened as a dog, moved to a favorite. We've seen time and time again, especially with these, comparable like SEC games. It's tough to win on the SEC or in the SEC on the road. They're on the road against South Carolina, who's had a massive win over the weekend where they absolutely demolished Arkansas. And Arkansas looked horrendous in that game. South Carolina's played like a little better against the faster paced teams outside of like the Mizzou game. They figured out how to slow them down. It's like a big clash of tempos. Like Georgia, my one rule with Georgia is I don't bet on them when they pace a team that does everything that they do better than themselves. But one of the only teams in the SEC that plays a similar style but does it worse than Georgia is South Carolina. So I'm going to lean into that, lean into their physicality. Realistically, if you can stop CMB, it's a great sign for your chances in the game. And with Ace and Newell and all they do to double the bigs now on the inside, and really the only one that's really torn them up as of recent is Janai Broom, which, I mean, that's the best player in the country. So I think you're going to stop him in this game. And I think them moving to a short favorite on the road, where we've seen time and time again, whether it's South Carolina, like example, over the weekend being favored on the road or being favored at home with Arkansas coming in, or, you know, the games that we've seen Georgia on the road. Not much line respect really either way. And now with them moving to a favorite, I think it's interesting, but this would also be just a disastrous loss for their tourney hopes. And I think they're going dancing.
Okay. Yeah, they got to get this one on the road here. I like them flipping to a favorite as well. I know they've already beaten this team once this year, but the Gamecocks are coming off a big-time win against Arkansas, so that kind of cancels that out. And yeah, the Gamecocks have looked a little bit better of late. They've won 2 of their last 3. Let's fade them. Let's take the hungry Bulldogs, who enter this game playing pretty good basketball as well, coming off of wins against Florida, wins against Texas. They're kind of looking like this Bulldogs team from earlier on this season. They looked a little bit more dynamic, Jovan. We take them on the ML, and I love seeing them flip to a fave on the road here in this spot. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Good. Cannot believe you have the Hokies on there. We're going to let that marinate for a sec. We're going to swing it back around. I'm going to talk about play number 2. You guys knew this one was going to be on the cards. Got to back Coach Buzz and the Aggies at home, coming in off of 4 straight L's, I believe. Yep. And they're playing the number 1 ranked Auburn Tigers, who are emasculating every team they play pretty much. Not on Duke's level, but they're taking care of business, right? They're coming off of 2 big old wins against Ole Miss, where they beat them by 30. They put up 100 Berg, and then they beat Kentucky on the road and put up a 94 Berg. So although they might not have won their last 4 games by 30-plus points like Duke, they're, pretty fucking close. They're destroying their teams, their opponents. They're winning games. They're on fire right now. And I'm seeing the spread slowly trickle down all last night and all this morning, down to 4.5 now. And I know there's some injury concerns with Auburn. Sure. We'll see who's actually going out there and giving it a go for this team on the road tonight. But either way, this spread is nasty. Texas A&M coming in off of 4 straight L's. I simply cannot resist. And if there's one way to beat this Auburn team, maybe it's Wade Taylor finally making his fucking shots for the first time in a month. They got a good enough, guard duo with him and Zerk Phelps where I feel confident. And let's just hope that Janai Broom doesn't drop a 25 Berg. If he doesn't, I think the Aggies keep this one within a bucket or 2.
Yeah. Can't forget, too. I mean, Auburn just clinched the SEC, so it's not like they're going to be playing for nothing or not going to have any motivation, because they're also playing, you would assume, for number 1 overall seed, really competing with Duke at this point. But realistically, this game is not going to have much bearing, I don't think, on that race. It's going to be what they do in the tournament. So, it's a weird spot, especially going on the road at College Station for a team that also needs a win really, really badly, because they're fighting for their own seeding purposes, and they've been bleeding as of late. So I'm right there with you.
Leaking. Yep. Great buy low spot for Coach Buzz and the Aggies. All right. As we get a William Wagers subby coming in 24 months on episode 650. That's a W vibe. Let's have a day, fellas. It's a shit ton of episodes, William Wagers. And that's a lot of month of subbing. We appreciate you, Will. W's. You're a beast. W Aloha Bets in chat. Good to see you, my man. Twitter POD, short line. Remind me how Kansas went yesterday. Jovan, let's flip it around to your plays and see how you're stacking it up. And how about the Hokies? Plus 7.5. Sure.
Get the Hokies up and moving, Krabs, after the big news. The big news, which really this is more of like a UNC bet against them than anything. So they've been very fortunate as of late. Won 4 in a row and really been demolishing teams for the most part. Tore apart NC State, tore apart Virginia. Same thing with FSU. Same thing with Miami. Those are just all incredibly fortunate matchups for them because UNC, they've been playing much better basketball. They've shifted their lineups. They're a little better defensively, have a little more size in there, but overall they're still undersized. And all of those teams that I just named are some of the worst rim defenses and offenses that are in the ACC. Virginia Tech is a little better on the defensive end, as you know. The offense, you can talk about the 11-point halves and everything they've done offensively, but they are coming off a game where they did look really good offensively. Defensively, I think they're going to give them a real challenge at the rim. They're going to make both of those guards, whether it's Cadeau or Davis, beat them consistently. And I don't think that's going to happen because Virginia Tech's had a lot of those teams that play that same way in a box for a couple weeks now. So I think stylistically, this is a pretty tough matchup for UNC to go on the road and absolutely dominate this one. And then you add into the fact that they're playing for their lives, but you have a massive game coming up on Saturday, which is the UNC Duke game that is in Chapel Hill. And that's probably the biggest game of your season if you're going to have any sort of chance of making the tournament. But it's also just the UNC Duke rivalry at home with Cooper Flag coming into your town after what happened the first game that they played. So look ahead spot. I don't know if you can really call it that because they can't really afford that at this point, but it's hard to really ignore it when it's a game on as big a stage as UNC Duke. But when you play a team that's such a tough defensive matchup for them as compared to what they've played in the last couple of weeks that Virginia Tech is, I think there's a spot where they trip. I think the Hokies might be live. Need Toby up and moving.
Bricked. Couple things. Number one, shout out to Jen for the subby in the chat. W to Jen. Saw a clip of you talking about how you're playing Beeve in a 1v1 college or a 1v1 basketball match. I'm gonna need to get eyes on that. When is that match?
Yeah, I
saw that clip yesterday, to Jen. Let me know where I can watch that shit. I'm gonna need to get some popcorn ready. One other thing as well. We got Southern Miss questions in chat from KD Betts. Hold those questions. We're going to talk about that Southern Miss game when we get to the slate. Okay? He said, I think it's next Friday. Hell yeah. That's going to be funny, bro.
Let's go.
Let's talk about the Hokies. Let's talk about Mike Young. Can we clap it up for Mike Young? That dude earned an extension. Dude's been coaching his ass off for the greater part of the whole season, at least the second half. He deserves it. He deserves it. Mike Young, really hardworking dude. Kind of a geezer, but I don't know if you've seen the tweets. Hokies are giving him some more NIL money next year, so we'll see what happens. But
wow, that could be the difference.
We're not here to talk about that, but that's huge. Yeah, great news. They're going to give him some more coins. What he's doing this season with the money and players that he has, to have 9 wins in the ACC, 8 wins in the ACC at this point, unbelievable. And I know the ACC stinks this year, guys, but still, what we're doing it with, I mean, guys, our best player is Toby Lawal. I know he's a future NBA player, but he's got a lot of growth to do. Poteet, Jaden Shutt, Young. You got Bo Burnham, the big man from College of Charleston last year that really has not done shit until the last week or so. What he's doing with these guys, it's very, very impressive. And they're playing their best ball of the season right now. They're coming off that big-time win against Syracuse. I know it's Syracuse. They don't play a lick of defense. They're not good. We just put up 101 points on that team. I don't care if we're playing the YMCA squad down the street. For the Hokies, with where we were a couple months ago, Jovan, God, that's some improvement, and I'm happy to see it, and I'm excited to see it. And this team, for the first time all year, they got some confidence right now, and that's exactly what these young guys need. They do. Burnham's playing better of late. This young kid is low-key kind of a stud. Shutt's been doing his job, and Toby's been picking it up down low as well because Poteet's playing on one leg. All right? I've been very impressed. Ben Hammond as well, the freshman. This kid's been balling out too of late. He's had a couple great games. Wouldn't be shocked if he does it again. In a game where I like points, in a game where I like the Hokies to keep it close, right, Jovan? People are starting to get on the UNC bandwagon again, right? They've ripped off 5 straight wins in a row, but they haven't played anybody. This is when we fade because teams trying to make it to the tourney, teams trying to improve their stock, teams looking for a win on the roads, when they have a look-ahead spot against Duke this weekend, they go to die at Castle Coliseum. You cannot take this spot lightly. That is a tough place to play. I'm telling you. I don't know why it is, Jovan, but it is. The players will tell you.
This is
giving me
some visions of Krabs. Give me visions of when we rode the Frogs against the what was it, Texas Tech? Which
sure.
I think it also happened to be the same line potentially, but it's just one of those where I guess something else. It was like the Penn State Iowa or Indiana game too, like where Indiana was riding high. Everybody's finally starting to buy back into them. They're playing fantastic, back on the bubble now, and you sell high right at that point before it crashes.
Sure. Dude, I'm hyped. And I can't stop thinking about Ben Hammond and that 21 piece he had against Syracuse. I'll be honest, Jovan. I hope he replicates that tonight.
That's an insane statement.
If you haven't had eyes on this kid, the freshman from Virginia, local kid, homegrown, pretty highly regarded recruit, tiny kids, super small. You'll barely even see him out there on the court. But Jovan, he's got the heart of a lion. I'm telling you, watch this kid tonight. He's going to help you cover that spread. All right, Ben Hammond coming off his best game of the season, 21 points. Went 7 for 8 from the field. Let's go, Ben Hammond. Sure we can. Very impressed by the Hokies. They keep it within 7.5. They might even win.
Yeah,
love it, Jovan.
I think so.
Jets release Devontae. Shocker.
Sure.
Shocker. Anybody who's saying Devontae's going to Washington as well to be paired with Debo and Terry, are you just making shit up? Like, that's not happening. He was roasting our fan base 2 years ago saying nobody wants to play for the Commanders. He's not going there. And he also said very clearly he's not going anywhere. He can't wear 17 because he's a me guy. And I'll tell you what, that number ain't coming off of Terry. You fucking kidding me? For Devontae Adams and all his problems and drama? Give me a break.
Yeah, send him. He'll probably stay in New York with A-Rod.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. All right, let's keep moving to grooving. I want to swing it around here, Gootsy. I think I got one more straight bet for the peeps. How about a late night under? Really like this play, Jovan. It's growing on me throughout the day. And the total, I think, is at 130, 129 and a half, some places as well now. So starting to see it drop a little bit. Good to see it. But I want to bet on defenses tonight in a conference known for some defenses, involving a team known for some defense. But you haven't seen it as much this season. The Aztecs, right? They're built on defense. They're built on toughness. They've been more of a scorer this season. They've relied a little bit more on younger talent offensively. Obviously, Miles Byrd starting to get hot as well. But I think tonight on the roads is a massive letdown spot for the Aztecs, who look like they barely escaped with their lives against Wyoming in that last game. They closed out great, but still, that game should not have been as close as it was. I would not be surprised if they get caught lacking a little bit on the road tonight. And UNLV's defense, that's been shining of late as well, the last third of the season or so, I think they show up at home as well. And I'm looking at this total, Jovan, in a game involving these two squads that played, I don't know, late to mid-January. Plenty of points were scored in that game. The total was set at 133, soared over with ease. Now we're seeing matchup number 2. Love betting unders second time around, especially with these defensive-minded coaches. Now the total's at 130 and a half and dropping downwards. I think we get a defensive masterclass from not just the Aztecs, but from the Rebels as well. And this game, first to 60 wins. Give me the under late night.
Sure. I'm always down for some Mountain West big defensive battles, especially when they involve San Diego State.
Sure. Yeah, let's hope they lock in. Let's hope Coach Dutch has them locked in on that side of the court on the roads. Can't rely on that team's offense, but we can certainly rely on that defense. They carry, and I've been impressed by the Rebels' defense of late. I have.
Yeah.
Maybe not in that last game, but overall, the last month or so, they played much better on that side of the ball. So I'll take that under. Nasty late night under. No fun play, but turn it green. And it's on national TV, CBS Sports Network. Could be some nerves.
That could honestly be the difference.
Could be some nerves. Okay, these kids know they're on TV. They're going to be trying to do too much out there.
Of course.
Nerfy play refunded. What's going on with the Nerfy in chat? I saw some people saying it cashed. I saw some people saying it's refunded.
Oh, it cashed, but it wasn't Palente who started. So that might be why.
That's probably why. GG's. Yeah.
It was literally like the quickest Nerfy of all time.
I bet.
Dude.
It was Michael McGreevy, not Palente.
Dude.
That's Moose.
Yeah.
Oh, he started in the other game. Are they playing 2 games right now at the same time? I hate when
probably a split squad.
I hate when they do that shit. What is this, fucking college? All right. Let's move on. I cannot believe that just happened. That's beat. But we'll move and groove. Hey, we still got a Nerfy involving Jake Irvin at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's enough to make you sweat. Okay, do we need both in there? Probably not. Does it suck the first one cashed? Yeah, it does. But we'll move on. If he didn't play, he didn't play. It's the fucking rules, guys. If he didn't play, he didn't play. If that shit lost, we'd be doing backflips and cartwheels right now saying, thank goodness they DNP'd it. Okay, so it goes both ways. Come on, got to be smart, guys. And that Tiger Woods, Aaron Judge less than is still unaffected. I want to make sure that's perfectly clear.
Still active.
That 2-piece is more than active. Okay? Yeah, Pega, the Yankees should have sold Luis Hill when they had the chance. They should have traded him. They should have sold their stock. His arm is literally hanging on by one string of dental floss. Feel bad for him.
Maybe less.
When he plays, he's a beast, but the guy just can't pitch a full workload. Put him in the bullpen. Have him close games, I guess, if that's the case. Do something else. It's not working.
Yeah.
All right. Woods versus Glover tonight. Jesus Christ. Are they giving him a handout win tonight? We got to root for Glover? Good.
Glover him.
Lucas Glover isn't as bad as you think, all right? He's performed pretty well this year.
Goots, I did not know he was even on the squad.
Yeah, he is.
Is he the 4th guy for the drive that they call in when they need a backup?
They're not like 4th guys. It's just whoever can come. That's why they have 4 guys so they can interchange them. But they signed Nick Dunlap
the 4th guy?
for one match contract.
Okay. So who's the 4th guy that's not there tonight for the drive? Isn't it
Dunlap,
Justin
Glover,
Thomas?
Who else is there with him?
Is it JT?
I don't know if JT's playing tonight, but JT is on that team.
Yeah, he's not playing tonight, though.
Okay, then it's JT that's not there. Yeah.
Glover, Billy Horschel, and Nick
Yep,
Dunlap.
and Dunlap. Yeah.
Nobody said it was going to be easy, chat. Nobody said it was going to be easy. All right, let's swing it around. I want to see Jovan's last straight bet, and then we can get to the prize pick squares here, folks. And over on the ice. Sure.
Yeah. First time in a while we've had two teams coming off a shutout, Krabs.
System. It's been a
auto
while.
add to the card. But for what it's worth, too, like I don't really bet on or against the Preds very often, but I feel like I try and pick my spots very, very carefully because they are a horrendous club. But the one game I did happen to bet on them since the break is the one game they actually won. They've lost literally everything else. They've been absolutely horrid. So now what was similar about that game is it was the last game of a homestand where they had been brutal leading up to it, and they had their team, get called out right before the game. And last game of the homestand, they gave everything they had, won the game, beat the Jets. Great spot for them, horrible spot for the Jets, whatever. Same story here because the last leg of their little road trip where they went on the road. They actually scored goals on Saturday in a high-scoring game against the Isles where Saros was awful, game sort over, but back-to-back against the Rangers, that's when they got shut out on Sunday. Now they're coming back, and they're playing a Bruins team that is they just trade away like Frederick. Not that he was playing. He was on the IR, but it's a team that's absolutely lost right now. And defensively, they're in some really questionable spots a lot of the times, it seems. And there's also a new goals allowed square up there because they're coming off a shutout, but Swayman also had a really good performance against the Wild in their last game. But, I don't know how many times the Preds have scored more than 2.5 goals in their 6 games since the break, Krabs.
Let me take a guess. 0.
Not 0. They got once in that game Saturday against the Isles. But other than that, nothing. That score's on the board after not only that, but Swayman just had I don't want to say a masterclass because, he didn't really get challenged very much in that game against the Wild, his last start, but he got 1 goal. That was very popular POD, the under in that game. So now they're coming back. I think the Preds offense shines a little bit, but the Bruins are going to be feisty too. So it gets auto added to the card, really no matter the situation. But when it's like last leg of a road trip or a homestand where I think a team needs to come out with a little fire, which in this case the Preds do, I love it even more. So let's get into it.
Okay. Getting this Nats game up and moving on the iPad. Got to tune in, see what I'm missing here. Jovan,
Nats iPad is classic.
Sure. Jovan, that's a good looking over on the ice. And I was eyeing that Swayman square as well that just got put up. Love to see that coming off of 2 really good games, right?
Yeah.
Would obviously prefer it if it was like 5 and a completely read it out chart, but we'll take what we can get.
He wasn't great before his last couple starts, but he's been pretty solid the last 2. And the last 2 were I don't want to say the most fortunate matchups for him necessarily, but it was a couple teams that were not really giving him anything.
Okay.
So deceptive. He looked deceptively good in those games.
Pega loves that over. I kind of do too. Been a while since we had a hockey over system play, chat. Okay.
Yeah, but a bit.
Tail accordingly. All right. Let's talk about some prize pick squares. It's time. Chat's been asking for them. I got a couple CBB ones. And Mikey, I know you were talking about Janelle Davis. We'll get there here in a moment. I want to start with Wade Taylor out of respect. Love me some Wade Taylor. It's been a tough year for Wade Taylor stands, though. He's been extremely inconsistent. He has. Well, tonight, he's got a chance in a game where I love points, in a game where I even thought about taking, I was debating between Texas A&M on the spreads and Texas A&M team total over, because I am seeing some points in this game, especially from the home squads. Jovan, this total's moving up. Great sign for points. Wade Taylor has been so inconsistent. I'm trying to picture a scenario in my brain where the Aggies cover and Wade Taylor doesn't come through with a 17-piece. I can't think of many. Maybe Zurich Phelps, goes solo and puts up a 30-piece. I'm willing to bet against it, or I'm at least willing to find out if Wade Taylor can bounce back here after a couple bad games. I don't think Zurich Phelps is a good enough shooter that they can rely on in this game against a good defense in Auburn. I think it's going to have to be Wade Taylor finding his looks from behind the arc and getting to the rack and getting some free throws, because that's when Wade Taylor thrives. When he gets to the rack, when he does not just sit on the fucking three-point arc like he's Steph Curry or Buddy Hields. When he gets to the rack, when he gets fouled, when he gets a couple free throws, and he gets some confidence under his belt, that's when Wade Taylor thrives. And they're going to need him to get to the rack, get a couple free throws up there, get his confidence built. I do like his threes today. Thought about maybe taking his demon threes. We could talk about that later. But Wade Taylor more than 16 points tonight, Jovan, in a game where I'm loving the Aggies, in a game where I'm loving points, and that totals up 3 points from that 148.5 opener. I'll back Wade Taylor coming off some Mushik games. If he doesn't show up and drop 17 plus, they don't have a fucking chance to cover. And this is my favorite play of the day today in the Aggies. So has to be taken. He bounces back.
I'm shocked you just name drop Buddy Hield like that right next to Steph. Like that was crazy.
Yeah. I was trying to think of two guys. Honestly, Buddy Hield was the right comp there. It wasn't even Steph because Steph does stuff and is one of the greatest of all time. Buddy Hield just fucking parks his ass on the 3-point arc and does nothing the whole game. That's a better comp. Not Steph Curry, the GOATs. Okay.
Sure.
Loving Wade Taylor tonight. He's putting up a 20-piece. All right. And then Janelle Davis. Arkansas is going to have their hands full tonight, folks. I'm not saying they can't cover. They're looking at that spread. It probably means they're going to be without Triore once again, which I honestly think might be too much to overcome for Arkansas, Jovan, if that's the case. We saw how much they needed him against South Carolina, a physical squad. Now Vanderbilt, not as physical, right? So maybe we could see Arkansas thrive. Maybe they start banging some threes, and maybe they can keep up with this Vanderbilt offense that they could score. They could put the ball in the hoop. In their last 3 games, Jovan, Vandy looks like they're kind of back. I just think it's Vandy's year, right? In the time of NIL, it makes perfect sense. You get the fucking nerds who all got money, the alma mater, the legacies, the alumni, right? They're all throwing their coins back at the school, building up the sports programs. They got some new coaches, new faces, new players, and the teams are great. I think Vanderbilt puts up another good performance tonight, but I think Arkansas follows suit. I think they keep it close. It's not going to be another blowout like it was in their last game, Jovan. And Janelle Davis is going to step up once again. He's been playing better over the last third of the season. He gets going tonight, and he bangs 2 threes. He's got a pretty Reddit out chart as well. I know he's got a tough matchup against a solid guard there in Vanderbilt, but their 3-point defense, Jovan, Vanderbilt's 3-point defense, quail shit, 341st in the country. So if there's one thing they struggle with on the defensive side of the ball, it's defending the 3. So I'll take my chances with Janelle Davis on a Reddit out threes chart in a game where I think we see the over, in a game where I think maybe Arkansas covers. Janelle Davis is going to have to show up.
Yeah, I saw his squares. Obviously, Mikey was talking about him too, so I'm absolutely in. I didn't want to fully get on the fade Vandy train because they're just an unbeatable team right now, and it seems like it's their year. Although I do think the game probably stays close, and Arkansas will have a shot, but I got to do it somehow, some way, and this could be it.
Yep, I agree. No Triore, someone else has to step up, and it's been Janelle Davis. Okay. What are you guys bitching about for Heaney right now? Heaney's got to hang him up. The Pirates are so moose. No way the Pirates are losing right now to the B team.
Horrendous team out there.
Pega's talking about Garcia is going to be the Rangers closer this year. If they have him pitching that well, good on them. Good on them. Garcia was solid for us, actually, out of the pen last year, but nothing to write home about. If he's their closer,
jeez. Good Lord, hang it up.
Yeah, right? I mean, the kid's he's got a good young arm, electric lefty. He's got a good velo. Not like that guy was anything to write home about last season. I know he was in that Nate Lau trade. I don't know, man. I'll tell you what the difference is going to be this year for the Nats and for Nate Lau. Is he going to bring the turtleneck back? Because it does get a little chilly out here, right?
Did he
beginning of the season?
Did he shelf it last year, or what was?
Dude, he just hasn't been rocking it. Like the last 2 years, he just hasn't been rocking it, and it probably has to do with him.
Eyes on that,
dude. Nate Lau's my guy. Are you kidding me? You don't think I got eyes on his turtleneck?
We got turtleneck watching in this economy.
Yeah, we actually.
He's not even on the Nats yet.
Because it breaks my heart when I see him out there not rocking the turtleneck. But it's probably because he's been playing in an indoor stadium, the brand new stadium down there for Texas, Jovan. You don't need a turtleneck, right?
Yeah.
But in the chilly cold in DC, in the beginning of the season or the end of the season, he might need to bring the turtleneck back. And that could be the difference this year for Nate Lau. Maybe he gets some of that power back.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
I cannot believe that he is on the Nats. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's your guy. It's like a dream. Dream come true for you out there.
Hilarious, bro.
Dude, Krabs might be worse than me with these comments.
There's definitely there's a couple.
Definitely.
There's a couple that put him up there.
Certainly. We might need the turtleneck in October when the Nats squeak in with a wild card. I'll say it. I'll go there.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move, man. Let's go
I'll
ahead
go
and
there.
move.
Let's take a peep at Jovan squares. Sure.
Started off with Tyrese Hunter. Love his points today. Super high total game. I think it's 158.5 against UTSA. Kind of lean UTSA. I think it'll be a competitive game, but I don't think it'll come without points. They're also one of the worst 3-point defenses in the league. So, like for Tyrese Hunter, when you have like guys like PJ Haggerty, who's just a shot chucker, ball in his hands, shot creator. You got Dane Danger down low. Like you don't get too many spots where I think it's like a fantastic spot to take like the off-ball shooters, but when you're playing a UTSA defense, that's all that they give you. I think it's a great spot for that, which would probably be why Tyrese Hunter is coming off of games where, I mean, he hasn't had 2 threes in 3 straight games, and he's coming off a bagel against UAB, which is a horrible matchup for that, and he's got a 1.5 goblin up there. So I think he's going to be shooting. I think he's going to have the looks tonight. He's been like super inefficient as of late, minus the last game where he was like 5 for 10. A lot of that came inside the arc. He didn't take many threes, but this is probably the best matchup, one of the better matchups he had for weeks now. So I think he's going to absolutely tweak. Again, a lot of that from behind the arc, but he can do some in transition as well.
And you know what? I think UTSA probably covers. I think that might help this square, although it might not seem like it on the surface. But as long, I mean, that might be a good thing if it's not a blowout.
Yeah,
for the Tigers here on the road.
Hoping it's close. Yeah.
Yep. I like UTSA. I didn't get to the counter with it on the Sharp Report, but that was looking at me funny. I know Memphis, we faded them in their last game. And I've had one heck of a time fading Memphis this year. I'll say it. We honestly probably should be gassing up this Memphis team more.
Yeah, they've been
and
good.
we were a little tough on them earlier this year.
I will say a lot of it, as much as I do like respect what they're doing, I think a lot of it's just at the bottom of the American is like the worst we've ever seen it. It's like usually there's like the Wichitas that are competitive, like Tulane's had good teams, they're horrible. Like the American does just suck. They've been good.
American has seen better days. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I know. I agree. It's a good point. It's a good point. And like I've been just waiting for a Memphis letdown spot, Jovan, and I just have not been able to find it, man. It's not like they've been, an ATS wagon. They're 14-15 against the spreads. I just have not been able to pick out the spots. Like last game this weekend against UAB looking sharp as attack, +1.5, and they were hanging around all game, and then they blow it late. Memphis is one of those teams that is just not cared what's sharp or what's not, and they've just come through. So that's kind of what kept me off of UTSA in this game. But I certainly like that Tyrese Hunter square.
I'll tell you what kept me off of UTSA. UTSA was one of the sharper bets I thought on the board in their last game over the weekend, and they won by 30 against Rice. They're like weird,
they did.
Short favorites. So the fact they're so dominant in that game, I couldn't dare take them now, but kind of just wanted to square up and take this over.
Okay. Totals up a point. All right. I like that square, and I think UTSA covers, which is probably good for Tyrese Hunter.
That'd be great. That would be great. Yeah, let's get some points.
Yep.
And this one might have to sell you a little bit on, dude.
I mean, come on.
Bismack Biyombo in the big 2-5, right? He's back in. He's starting the starting 5 for the Spurs now, which is absolutely insane to say. But like his last couple games, he's been kind of nabbed on minutes, and it's because he's been in spots where they're playing. I forget, the first game was against the Grizzlies, and then I forget what the last one he played in, but he only got like 18 minutes in both of them. It was the Thunder. The problem with both of those teams, because Jeremy Sochan is the backup 5. He's really the only one getting other minutes at the 5 for the Spurs right now. If you're playing a team like OKC, and if you're playing a team like Memphis, when like you have Jaren Jackson, you have all of the guys that can play small ball 5 for the Thunder, and they make you go small all the time. That's not a Bismack Biyombo spot. That's a spot where they're perfectly fine, the Spurs are, and letting Sochan get minutes, which is why he got so many minutes that he did in those couple games at the 5. Now, when you play a Nets team that is not going to have that, because they're going to have Nick Claxton getting minutes in the starting lineup, and then they're going to go Day'Ron Sharpe off the bench. Those are just typical starting 5s, where if you go small ball, you're going to get just destroyed by them. And I think that's the perfect spot for Bismack to actually get a full share of minutes. Like I said, he's been limited to like 18 the last couple games, but he's had games prior to this where he's been up more in like the mid-20s range. That's what you're going to get here. But when those guys are also in for the Nets, they have one of the worst rim defenses in the league. I think Bismack, when he does like have the ball in his hands a weird amount at the top, like he's literally Jokic. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's a little more involved in playmaking, racks up a couple assists too. Obviously, when you have like the 11.5 PRA, everything counts. But I think he does something tonight. So get him on your card in the big 2-5.
You had me until you said he's like Jokic.
I'm
don't know why
saying they bring him up. Like, if you watched the Spurs with him for a little bit, they did this against the Thunder because I was watching that game for a little bit because Trent swore Bismack was free in that game. They bring him up to like the top of the key and like give him the ball a little more than you would think they do to Bismack Biyombo, which is odd. So like if you're gonna do that, if he's not like just scoring in the paint whenever he wants against Claxton or Sharp, like he can get a couple assists. Which, again, his line's 11.5 for PRA. So if you get a couple assists, fantastic.
Bismack fucking Biyombo.
Go.
In the big 2-5. I already locked it in. I locked it in. I dropped the link to the Sharp Report format in the chat if they want to get involved. I'm in. You don't got to tell me twice. Bismack fucking Biyombo. How about it? That's just crazy to say his name out loud. Yep.
I wonder what his book price says to get a double-double. Might have to try and take that.
I actually did have a question for you. I wanted to ask why you didn't go fantasy score.
I did see the weird blocks and steal square up there. That was pretty interesting. So yeah, I have no preference. Feel free to sprinkle that in if you want to too.
Okay. W. Billy, good to see you, my man. Thanks for joining. Thanks for getting involved.
I feel like I'm required.
Plus 2,000 for a double-double. Jovan, let me know if you want me to place it. I think I owe you some coins too, don't I? For that baseball play?
Oh, yeah, Oklahoma. That was
I literally forgot about that till right now. I got to send you some coins. Sure. Well, let me know if you need me to lock in that Bismack Biyombo double-double.
I think I have those here too.
Ooh. Okay. Sure. Why not just take Wemby instead? Dean, you must have not heard the news, brother. I hate to break it to you. I hate to be the guy to do it. But Wemby's out for the season. Okay? Yeah, no law. We're going to work on that right after BTL today. So either later today or tomorrow, we're going to have graphics out with our mid-major sleepers, favorites, and the teams we're rooting for. Okay? Pack's picks. A little bit early to be mentioned in the GOAT, don't you think? It's only March 4th.
Right now?
Yeah, is he up and moving?
Probably
a little early to mention the GOAT.
Yeah, he is. Didn't lead off today.
Yeah, not feeling it today. We'll save it when we need it.
He is. Right? He is about to come up, I believe, in this next inning if he doesn't get pinch hit for.
So I'm not getting the feeling now.
No feeling, man. Hate to see that. Just hate to see it.
All right. Let's keep moving and grooving. Enough talking about Bismack Biyombo. Let's talk about this college basketball slate. I want to ask you about a couple more games here, Jovan. And then we got to craft up a TNT two-piece as well.
Wow.
People forget that.
Totally forgot about that.
People forget that. So I'm going to ask you a couple cues about some of these other big games going on today, and then we're going to get to the TNT two-piece craft sesh. Hot take, Debo actually makes the Commanders worse. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear the reason in there.
In what universe does Debo instead of Luke McCaffrey make the Commanders worse?
That's I don't even know what to say. Jovan, LSU getting 12.5 points at Kentucky tonight. Sure. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really have too many thoughts. Kind of like Kentucky, not enough to play them. I guess my only thoughts would be Amari Williams. That was definitely a square that I considered putting on the Sharp Report. Something that if they had straight rebounds, I would probably put that on there, but they don't. But I think he should absolutely grub in the paint. So I don't know what I'm going to take of his, but it's going to be something.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like points in that game, but the total's dropping. Just thought it opened up crazily high, but yeah, I'll probably stay off. Okay. Any thoughts on VCU Duquesne? I guess this is more of a bigger one for me, but interesting game, Jovan. You got Duquesne finally playing well right now with the new coach. Playing their best ball of the season. They've won and covered 3 of their last 4 games. Before that, it was pretty ugly for Duquesne. VCU, we know what's good with VCU. They're a fucking wagon this season. If only somebody said before the season they were going to be really good. We did on that preseason pod. The Rams are legit. Here's the problem, though, Jovan, as an A10 guy. This one smells fishy, and Duquesne has VCU's number. They've actually beaten them 4 of the last 5 times they played outright. For some reason, VCU just cannot figure out Duquesne. And I think this spread is looking a little short for a reason. Although you can make an argument that this is an A-10 game and VCU laying 9.5 has a lot of points with how well Duquesne's played of late. But this is still VCU sitting at 24-5, the best team in the conference by far, in my opinion, against a sub-500 Duquesne squads. Do not fall for the bait. Would not be shocked if the Duquesne Dukes keep this one within 9.5 points.
Yeah, they also got the Booper Bowl coming up on Friday, VCU Dayton. So, I mean, look ahead spot. I guess same could apply to both of those teams who are playing today.
Yep. I agree. Let me see if there's any other games that we missed. Oh, here's one that I almost put on, but I wanted to talk about. Eastern Michigan and Ohio. Eastern Michigan already beat Ohio this season, Jovan, at Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan stinks, but they're actually playing pretty good right now. They've won 4 of their last 5, closing the season out pretty strong. Ohio, on the other hand, so let's not forget this Ohio team was picked preseason to win this conference, Jovan, but they had a bunch of injury problems. But we know they're a very disciplined squad. They're a very well-coached squad. And at home, one of the best home court advantages in college basketball, the Ohio Bobcats. They have recently lost a game at home. They're now 12-2 at home this season. They're not undefeated like they were about halfway through the year. But I like Ohio to bounce back and lay in a big old number. They opened up -11. I know they're down to 9.5. That's because people are betting on Eastern Michigan because they already beat them outright once this season. They're playing well right now. I think it's Ohio laying a big old number here, Jovan, at home. I think they win by double digits.
You really want to back Ohio off of the Miami, Ohio win, though?
Yeah, I kind of do still.
I mean, I was just playing devil's advocate. I don't really have any thoughts about that game, but that would scare me a little bit.
They are coming off a massive win against the luckiest team in college basketball. You're correct. I think them losing to Eastern Michigan already this season and Eastern Michigan being on fire right now kind of cancels that out. But yeah, those concerns are certainly hurt. Couple other big games here. Rutgers, Purdue. You got anything there?
No, like we were talking about that last game, it felt like that was the game to attack Rutgers with the big spread, plus the points, or at least the last game that happened. And it came through. It took a buzzer beater to beat them. Michigan did, and I definitely don't want to go back to it now, even though I think the same applies.
Okay. Any thoughts on Texas, Mississippi State?
If that Texas team wasn't absolute rat meat, I would really want to bet them. And I still kind of do, but I don't know that I can because I know schematically, obviously, like it's always Trey Johnson 1v5, but especially now, like Miss State does such a great job of only forcing one guy to beat them, which is great for like Texas, I guess, because that's what Trey Johnson does. But I legit think nobody else is going to be able to score for Texas, which is a problem. Like if I'm betting on Texas, I want at least something with like somebody undersized against Shedrick inside, or like some matchup with Tremont Mark, who might not even play tonight, which is really bad because he's probably the guy that was going to stick on Josh Hubbard for a majority of the game. It's just it's too much going on. I really want to bet Texas, but I can't do it.
Okay. Tulsa looking weird. Yeah, I saw that one earlier, but they've already beaten Temple. That's kind of why I stayed off that one. But, I mean, I can't ignore it. They're catching steam at home. 7 games under 500 against Temple. But Temple's probably without Mashburn again.
Wow,
right?
Walnut Mashburn, 3 pitches. You might be him, Krabs.
Yeah, I just did not get a good vibe with him today, to be honest with you. Terrible vibe. And there you go. 3 pitches, 1 out. Easy out. All right, a couple more. I want the Frogs report against Baylor. They've already beaten Baylor once this year. They beat them twice.
Probably not, but it's so odd because I really tried not to lean into the Frogs when they're getting points playing against, I don't know, not like the top teams like the Texas Techs, the Kansases, like the elite of the elite in the Big 12. Because it seems very easy because they pull off every upset at home against statistically like the best home court advantage in the Big 12 still, which is nuts. So like now they're playing a Baylor team that I think is pretty dead, and that plus 3.5 looks very easy. And they've been talking a lot of shit about how they own Baylor in every sport because women's team just picked up like a big win over the weekend, like the most hyped up matchup of all time. TCU's already beat them. The men's team on the road is massive dogs outright. It's probably going to come to bite them in the ass. So I can't do it. Maybe a little telling that they're still minus 3.5 on the road.
Yeah, I like Baylor on the ML. I don't know if I'm going to get there, though, because it's minus 150. It's been my biggest kryptonite, taking these sharp favorites minus 150-ish. Burned me again over the weekend with Kansas. Put 1.5 units on it when they were laying 3.5 or 4.5. Cake. Worst player on the card. So that scares me a little bit, but I do like Baylor. I don't think they lose both to the Frogs. TBD if I get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
There was one other game I really wanted to touch on. It was actually that Southern Miss game. But before we get there, I want to go over BYU, Iowa State, one of the best games of the night, 2 ranked squads. Haven't seen anybody like BYU. I know BYU's on fire, but I haven't seen a soul on BYU tonight. I lean BYU. I do. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I'm probably not going to bet it, but I lean BYU. The Cougs on the roads against the Cyclones, who finally bounced back after a couple bad L's against Arizona in their last game. They beat them pretty good. We were actually on Iowa State in that game. They came through, took care of business. Who the heck wants to bet on BYU in this spot? Everyone's going to be thinking the Cyclones are back, right? I kind of want to back the red-hot BYU Cougs, who are playing really good basketball right now. They're playing really fucking good basketball, plain and simple. I want to bet the better team, the hotter team right now. Everyone, bouncing back or getting back on the Iowa State Cyclones bandwagon after one big win. I don't think it's the time. I'll back this team in the tournaments when I think they find some success, but I'm not going to back them tonight. So I think it's BYU.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think nobody thinks this BYU team is good because, looking at what they've done so far, like they've got a bunch of wins, but it's been either against the bottom of the Big 12 or it's a game where Arizona probably should have won that game. The bullshit foul call at the end. They demolished a Kansas team that nobody thinks is good. Kansas State, that was like the start of their downfall when they beat the shit out of them. So it's like nobody's been watching. They just kind of assume it's just fraudulent, but they've actually been really good. It's a challenging matchup, I guess, against this defense, but I think they're up for it. Realistically, you need them to shoot their way out of every game, but this one especially.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you. And I'm looking at this Southern Miss game before we get to the TNT 2-piece here, Jovan. One more game I wanted to talk about because chat was going ballistic over it. Southern Miss on a losing streak. Unfortunately, they're playing Coastal Carolina, a team that I just have not had any success fading over the years in Coastal. They're right up there with UNCW. Okay. I have had no success, but I cannot ignore this line, man. Southern Miss has been dog shit this season. This team has been better over the years. Like, this team has gone to the tournament not that long ago, but they are 12th in the Sun Belt this year. They have been terrible, absolutely terrible. They kicked off Corbello from the program again a couple weeks ago. This team has been a dumpster fire this season. And they've already gotten not blown out, but they already lost to this Coastal team once this season. So I'm thinking it's got to be Southern Miss here, but I just don't know if I want to fade Coastal, man. It's a big game tonight because whoever loses, their season's over.
Yeah, I really don't want to either. So I think I'm good on that.
Okay. Southern Miss relies a ton on shooting the three. At least they have when I've watched them this season.
Heavy.
We'll see if that works out tonight.
Disastrous for conference tournament time. Always happens.
Yep. Probably stay off. Does look sharp though. So I agree with chat there. I'll lean that way. All right. Let me ask you this, Jovan. Do you want to get the squad right up and moving and let it bake while we craft up the TNT 2-piece, or do you want to get the TNT 2-piece done now?
Ooh, it's a great question. It's a great question from Krabs. Maybe we get it up and moving.
Yeah, I kind of want to let it bake.
Also, rare potential W from Prime here. Cal bounce back, lowest first half scoring of his life. I kind of feel like we have to play Arkansas first half team total, right? At least a little sprinklage. Maybe that's the way to fade Vandy without fading Vandy.
Yeah, first half, getting it out, and then the luck of the fucking Vandy team comes through again late, and they end up covering.
After that horrendous South Carolina game debacle over the weekend.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Horrendous.
They put up 53 points total. They put up 14 points in the first half. They only lost the second half by 1. They played much better in the second half. But, yeah, that could be the way to back them there, Prime. I don't disagree.
Staring at 33.5. I'm going to take it.
Flatwoods, we got to earn that, man. I was thinking about that the other day. Maybe when we get back to 500 on the squad rides for this year, we could talk about that. We haven't earned that yet, though.
There we go.
Okay. Still more work to be done. Okay. We got to earn the hats. For now, let's work on the winners. Okay. Speaking of winners, why don't we hop in and talk about the squad ride options we got for today? Gootsy, if you don't mind, go ahead and run that puppy. I want to see that train. All right, chat, listen up. W squad ride last night. W Kansas play. Great teams cover. Okay, they came through last night. Took it with Brent coming in with a resub as well. Let's smack another one, boys. W took it with Brent. We appreciate you, Beast. W's. Jovan, here's where my head's at, man. Yesterday, we cashed on the Twitter POD Kansas plus 9.5. Do we want to go back-to-back Twitter PODs with Texas A&M? I do love the play. But I certainly understand Aloha Bets and some of the others in chat's concerns. The Aggies are pretty popular on the feed once again. So I want to ask you, do we go with my favorite play, or do we leave it out after splooging Kansas last night and cashing the Twitter POD?
You know, I feel like we got to lean into our plays, man. Lean into the most confident plays. Not time to get cute. So if you like it that much, you put it in, no matter what.
All right.
Let the people decide.
Let's put the Aggies in that puppy. Looks like their consensus 4.5 now. Okay. Texas A&M plus 4.5. I really like that under, and I like Creighton as well, but I want to take a peep at your plays real quick.
Just,
we gotta
just
put
get
in
it
that
over
over
with
on the
and put
ice.
it in. Yeah, I
The
mean, put the
Hokies?
over in the ice. We're putting in the Hokies, man. They're winning.
Okay, dude. What am I supposed to do, chat?
Just has to happen.
What am I supposed to do when my co-host comes on here and gives the alma mater as a play? What am I supposed to tell him? No?
Yeah, just remember it was the
Can't do
same
that.
thing. Same thing that happened with the Frogs. I was like kind of torn on it. You were really sold on it. It won outright. Let's flip the script.
Okay. Let me put the Preds over in here as well. Wouldn't mind running those 3 plays. Kind of want to put in that UNLV under, though.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Goose
Goots.
Beauty, Creighton.
God damn it, Goots.
There's not many times you get Krabs just betting a large spread against a Moose team. And I feel like when he does pick his spots with that, it goes pretty well. Knock on wood here.
Goots, you like Creighton better than that under late night? All right. After that, I don't know if I can put it in. Fuck. All right. Let's compromise here because I'm a man of the people and I'm a Goots guy. Let's put them both in.
Here we go.
What am I going to tell Goots no? Can't tell Goots no. He gets what he wants.
Dude. Can't.
Let's put both of them in here. Let the chat decide. I did. Well, yeah, I did tell you no for that.
That did happen. That
You're
did
right.
happen.
Way to keep
Can't
me
forget
honest,
it.
Goots. Keep me honest. Good. We'll put them both in here, though, and let chat decide. And we're going to put that under 129.5 probably, or at least 130. Looks like it's the consensus right now. We'll put 130 in there. 5 plays, 5 winners for the squad ride tonight, guys. Get involved. Change your life. Okay, don't just sit there and watch the poll. Get involved. Click a button. All right, your favorite play you heard us talk about today, the play you know is turning green. Get involved. Vote, 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 like Flatwoods Fellow saying in the chat. Please get involved. Please get involved. Okay? 5 plays, 5 winners. Texas A&M plus 4.5. VT plus 7.5. We got the Preds Bruins over on the ice system play. Creighton minus 10.5. And the under in San Diego State UNLV. Get involved. All right, click on the button you know is turning green. Your most favorite play you heard us talk about today. Okay?
Gotta be the Hokies. Gotta be the Hokies, man. I feel like I need Krabs in on this.
I am too biased to have my opinions heard on the Hokies today. I'm too biased. Swoller Bear system play for the Preds Bruins over. It's been a while since we've had one of those. Okay?
Yeah.
Get involved, chat. Please drop your votes. Click a button that you're absolutely in love with. Okay? Jovan, we got 2 games on TNT tonight, so we got to talk about them.
Right.
Okay? We got Golden State at the Knicks. Got any thoughts on that game? It looks like the Knicks are catching a little bit of steam, up to 5.5 some places.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stand betting on a majority of Warriors games, whether it's the squares or I guess the actual game involvement. So I've kind of kept myself off of it for the most part, but they're playing decently well. I guess at least beating up on bad teams outside of the Sixers for the most part. Knicks have been playing a little tougher teams and they've been struggling. So you would think that heading into this game would be maybe a square spot for the Knicks, but one I wouldn't care to really go against. So I kind of lean Knicks. But as far as squares go, it's where I need you because I have a square for the other game I'm pretty sold on. But for this game, I hate the Warriors and I hate the Knicks.
Okay. Maybe no Steph Curry, maybe no Cat tonight.
Well,
in this game.
Yeah. Thing is, if we do get Steph, it is Steph in the Garden on national television.
I don't know if he's gonna play, bro.
I'm just pointing out the situation here because it is a back-to-back. So I mean, it's a pretty decent likelihood he doesn't play, but
right. Pull up some of these Warrior squares. I mean, I'd say we can assume he's probably not going to play, especially with that line moving up from 3.5 to 5.5. Chad, if he's not going to play, who's stepping up? Who's stepping up for the Warriors? Could be Buddy Hields. After
the fact that it's in the Garden may even it out. And yes, I did know the Preds were last in goal score, last 10. That's literally pretty much the point of the bet. That's why we're taking it, essentially. But yes, the fact that it's in the Garden, Krabs, might offset it.
Draymond's been getting a lot of gas of late. Could fade him.
Dre.
He's been getting slurped for being a good teammate of late. All his squares are extremely green.
Green as paw, dude. We peep some Knicks, man.
Zemski.
Whoa.
He kind of went off.
Some crazy squares.
Jack, get those votes in for the squad ride. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Quentin Post had a great game the other night. I saw that.
Yeah, he's not up for anything. As much as I would love to take him. He's goated.
What if it's just Jimmy Butler assists?
Could it be Jimmy and Garden?
What if it's just Jimmy Butler PRA? In prime time, TNT. We know he's a me guy. Probably no Steph. All his squares are reds. Could go Jimmy PRA.
I wouldn't tell you no from that.
I kind of like that. Let's roll with that for now. What square were you eyeing in that late night game for TNT?
Zubac PR.
Okay. Clippers and Suns. You're eyeing Zubac. Shocker. It's your fucking guy. You like his PR?
Yeah.
Okay. It's tucked all the way at the bottom, and it's extremely red. I'm in, dude. You're the Zubac whisperer. Okay? Chat really wants Bol Bol. And we're going to leave Bol Bol off to the side, folks.
Bol Bol, man.
Okay. Why don't we go two-piece? Jimmy Butler more than PRA and Zubac more than PR. Hold the A.
Sure.
I'm in. Got a weird feeling Jimmy Butler shows up tonight on prime time with no Steph. All right, let's roll a two-piece here. Jimmy Butler more than PRA, Zubac more than PR. Okay, and I'll drop the link right now if you want to get involved. Got the link for the TNT two-piece, which has been pretty good to us of late, knock on wood. Drop the link to that in chat right now. Boom. There it is. And Jovan, the squad ride, looks like chat missed you. Chat missed the ice. We're going to the ice tonight, and I got no problems with it. The over system play. W's.
Sure.
Let's get some goals tonight.
Shot that one. I'm kind of mad we didn't get a chance for Krabs hokey tonsils last time before the season.
That's okay.
But
we'll give chat the benefit of the doubt right now because last night they weeded out the cake and they picked Kansas. I'll tip Cap. I'll give him some credit here. So, chat, let's hope you're fucking dialed again like you were yesterday. Okay? W's. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Stick around for the third stream. All right? TNT 2-piece. Jimmy Butler more than PRA. Zubac more than PR. I dropped the link in the Twitch chat if you want to get involved. Okay? Stick around for the third stream. Do me a favor, guys. Pitch Trent a winner. All right? Lock the fuck in. Stick around. We got the third stream starting up right after this. We appreciate you guys. Squad ride the over on the ice in the Preds game. We'll meet you guys at the cash counter, and we'll catch you guys